Bandwidth for This Week in Startups provided by liquidweb.com.
Today's episode of This Week in Startups is brought to you by GoToMeeting. Sign up for GoToMeeting and use the promo code START to receive your free trial. And by Sourcebits. Visit sourcebits.com to begin your mobile app development journey.
Hey everybody, it's our international meetup competition. This week, the Kiwis versus, what do you call them?
The Aussies.
The Aussies versus the Kiwis. It's Auckland versus Sydney. Who will reign supreme on This Week in Startups? Who has the best startup companies? We're going to find out on this episode of This Week in Startups. Stick with us.
That's what it's all about, man. They said money is the root of all evil. But funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah. Money is the root of all evil. But funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.
Hey everybody, it's This Week in Startups. As you know, the program here, we focus on startup companies. Startup companies in the internet space, they're not limited just to the United States anymore. The biggest companies are coming from outside the United States in some cases, and we've been hosting a city versus city, like a, what would you call it, Lon? Like a ladder system, a bracket system, if you will?
There you go, a
tournament style. Where different cities go up against different cities. London, Paris, Berlin, everybody's been fighting it out to see who's got the best startup companies. And it's really great, this format, because what's great about this format, as opposed to the other formats we've had, is it creates a sense of drama.
There's a lot of tension, yeah.
Yes, and Tyler can't make it because I think he's got a girlfriend in Sweden or Switzerland or wherever he is.
He's left the country under mysterious circumstances.
It's very weird. It almost feels like he's fled the country.
It feels a little bit like, there's some sort of federal charges.
Or something that are about to break.
The government's building a RICO case against him.
Or maybe it's like some sort of WikiLeaks kind of situation, and he, I don't know what the story is.
If you put on some light hair, you could almost pass.
We should get a gray wig for him and have him play.
He is.
Who's the guy from WikiLeaks?
It's Julian Assange.
Oh God, I hate that guy.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. You're not a fan.
Such a huge.
It seems like I like
you
the
love WikiLeaks.
Cause. Well, I'm a fan of what he's doing.
Truth.
But not necessarily the man himself. It's sort of how you feel like about Polanski films. Brilliant. Not a fan of the guy.
Yes.
Terrible guy.
Right. Do you think he, in all honesty, Julian Assange, do you think there's 3 or 4 versions of the truth here,
right?
In terms of what happened with the rape case or the rape allegations,
and clearly none of us have any way to know.
But you do have your own judgment.
He strikes me as a
rapey kind of guy.
Somewhat. There's a sinister sleaziness
so you could
to him.
See
I'm not saying he's guilty of those.
Of course not. But if you had to pick, totally fabricated conspiracy theory, outright mischievous, outright crime.
I would say on the spectrum of this is completely made up versus he's guilty exactly as charged. It's always somewhere in the middle. I don't think too many people are completely inventing total fabrications.
It's really a bizarre situation. Anyway, we're going to have a great show today, and I really love these episodes. And so you know what to do. Tyler's done this in the past. I don't know if you've actually done the Auckland. Any of the other ones.
I have been on some of these international. I was producing the show still when we started doing
international stuff.
Yes.
So here's what we have to do. You have to keep score of how good of a pitch it is and how good of an idea it is.
Right.
And then at the end, we're each going to make our list of the top 3, and then I guess we do some sort of math between them, and then we figure out who won. Overall.
So you and I, it's up to us.
That's us. This is a lot of responsibility.
It is.
Hey, and if you've got a lot of responsibility for your mobile, the mobile future of your company, you need to get Sourcebits, at Sourcebits. They are the leader in mobile app, cloud, and web development. They built Sequoia Capital's website, and they do design-led engineering. I've had a bunch of companies meet with them and tell me that these guys are great. and they've done a ton of great apps out there. And here's a great deal for you. If you meet with them, you get a free meeting with me. That's kind of cool. So go ahead and email Sourcebits at thisweekin. And if you wind up using Sourcebits, you'll actually get to demo your app live on the air with This Week in Startups. So that's pretty awesome as well. They've done Hershey's. They've done work for Hershey's, Coke, GE. The mobile web is it's getting incredibly competitive, and the reward for doing mobile apps is unbelievable. People are seeing a magnitude more commerce, a magnitude more social engagement on mobile, and these guys are experts at it. If you're not working on your mobile strategy right now, by default, logically, you're falling way behind. There are people out there who are going to eat your lunch, and Sourcebits is going to help you catch up. Go talk to my friends at Sourcebits. They do a wonderful job. Let's go. Now, we did a coin toss, is that correct? And which city gets to go first?
Sydney, I believe.
Okay.
Sydney's going first.
All right, let me get Sydney on the line. Sydney, are you there?
Yes, Jason, we're here.
And who am I speaking with from Sydney?
This is Ned.
This is Ned. Ned, how you doing?
Co-founder of a startup here called GoCatch, and I'm very happy to be emceeing the event here today.
Great, and it looks like you got a nice turnout. And where are you right now? Are you in like a co-loft or something, a co-working space?
Yeah, so we're in a co-working space called Fishburners, and it's the largest co-working space in Asia Pacific. We've got about 140 people that work out of here across a 4-level converted warehouse. So it's a good spot to be based out of.
Awesome, awesome. And now you've got a bunch of companies. Who's the first?
Okay, so we've got Jesse Black from Teacher Time is going to be up first. And then we've got Tom Frazier from ProcessGo and Simon Lenore from Rezdy. 3 of the hottest up-and-coming startups in Australia right now.
Awesome. So let's have Teacher Time come up. Let's meet Jesse.
I love they got the flag back there. And actually, I saw our flag graphic at the top of the show. I didn't realize Australia and New Zealand had almost identical flags.
Is that correct? I didn't know that either.
They look like one has an outline of the stars, and one has the stars like filled in with color.
I didn't know that, yeah.
Essentially, they look very similar flag. I would have thought, sort of countries with a rivalry like that, a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
So you would think that they would have more differentiating their flags.
If you really want to make people crazy, if you call somebody from Australia a Kiwi,
yeah, they hate that. They don't like that.
If you call somebody from New Zealand an Aussie, that just is.
Well, it would be like if somebody called you a Canadian. You'd be like, I'm not a Canadian.
Right.
They're near me.
All right, Jesse, are you there? Jesse, are you there? Yeah. Maybe check your audio there.
Yeah,
check 1 2 1 2.
We lost sound.
Yeah, he's got to. I think he probably has himself on mute there.
Something like that.
Yeah. Here it comes. Check. Jesse, 1 1
Here we
2
go.
1 2.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, let's turn up the sound in here a little bit, Brandis.
Sure.
You can hear it okay?
Okay, but it could be a little louder.
A little louder,
Well,
Brandis?
I found the button, so
There we go.
there we go.
Crisp
Perfect.
and clear. That's
Crisp and
perfect.
clear. Okay, you know the rules. You have 60 seconds. Go.
Great. My name's Jesse. I'm the founder of Teacher Time. I'm a primary school teacher. I've been teaching for 8 years. And last year, I'll tell you a quick story. I was taking attendance in my year 3 classroom, and I called out one of the names of my students, but someone else answered. And she said, "Oh, Mr. Black, this person's not going to be at school today." And I said, "How on earth can you know that? It's 7:50 in the morning." And she said, "Oh, Mr. Black, we Skype every day before school." And that really hit me. The very essence of what it means to be a teacher is fundamentally changing. And until teachers start sharing on the same level that their students are, we're going to be wholly unequipped to teach the next Bill Gates or the next Steve Jobs or Jason Calacanis of the future.
Whoa.
So I love my job, but I quit to found Teacher Time. We're a cloud-based platform that allows teachers to share their own resources. There's so much pain in education. I had to reinvent the wheel every single day, but now I can access resources from teachers down the street, in another state, or around the world. We launched our prototype in February. We've just hit 550 users in over 100 schools in Australia. We serve hundreds of resources, but we're also continuing to innovate with an online daybook. You know how teachers plan with pen and paper? Well, now they can plan in the cloud. And I just want to pause and let that sink in because there's some really exciting stuff we can do with that data. We've got a fantastic team and a great group of advisors, including Mark Pesci, Jason, who wanted me to say hi to you personally. So,
great.
I'll close with this. It's time for teachers to demand technology that supports them at least as well as the technology that supports the students. It's time for Teacher Time. Thank you.
Awesome. Very well done. Big round of applause. So I have an affinity for education, obviously, and this is anything that can help teachers find resources is great. There's a website in the United States, I don't know, Jesse, if you know the name of it, but where teachers teach teachers or teachers help other teachers, and they share lesson plans. What's the name of that product, Jesse?
That's called Teachers Pay Teachers, and
Teachers
they're
Pay
massive.
Teachers.
And I think what they're doing is fantastic. They are kind of like the iTunes model. So a teacher can upload a resource, put a price on it, and another teacher can pay for it and download. Fantastic. Where I see kind of the next step is not one-to-one resource selling, but actually as a service. So where you pay a monthly fee but have access to everything.
Yeah, that's great. So you see there is this Teachers Pay Teachers, a really cool site where people can put up lesson plans, and you've got a little bit of a fuller CMS.
Sure.
It looks like, but this idea is one that the time has come for, and the design looks great, and the idea is great. What do you think, Lon?
I mean, I think it's really interesting, and I think anything that like helps teachers and also sort of forces their hand a little bit to accept some of these new tools that we have is awesome.
They need all the pushing they can get.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's what, if you give them a really easy to use, really simple, kind of fun, engaging interface, like a CMS for that, I think that could really go a long way. I guess my only thought is, do you sell this directly to the teachers? Do the schools buy in? I mean, this is because it's a tough sell to get like a teacher to pay you monthly for a tool that they use for class.
Yeah, how does that work, Jesse? What's the model there?
Oh, no, I agree. We struggle with that very question. And what we've realized is that while teachers are the users, the customers are really the schools. It's the principals who have access to the discretionary funds. So what we've done is we've targeted the private primary schools here in Sydney. Private simply because they have a bit more leeway with what they can do with their money than the public schools. And so we're going that route where we sell to the principals. But it's the teachers who are the users. If the teachers don't love our product, it doesn't matter. They need to be the ones who fall in love with what we're building.
I think the pitch was okay, and I think the product is in pretty good shape. It's obviously emerging. I would go ahead and give the pitch about a 7, and I give the product about a 7.5. What do you think, Lon? I give it a score on a scale of 1 to 10.
For the pitch, I gave him a 6 because I thought I liked the anecdote about the girls Skyping and they Skype every morning.
Right.
I didn't really think it tied in too much to the actual product, which is less about Skyping with your students and more about collaborating.
It was an anecdote.
Right.
That was indicative of something's changed.
Yeah.
But better would be to have the slam dunk example of somebody using your own platform.
I would have liked to see the tools more in motion. And then he mentioned that we can do all sorts of great stuff with this data. I would have liked one example.
Yeah, you
want to
what
do you do with that data?
What do you do with that data? Right? That's
the idea, I'd go 7. I think it's a pretty solid idea, and it's something I think could be really useful if it was done correctly.
Well done, Jesse. Let's go to New Zealand.
Thanks,
New
guys.
Zealand. Good job. Cheers. Okay. And in New Zealand, we have our host, Ken. Ken, are you there? Wow, look at that. Great crowd in Auckland. Ken, big startup scene there in New Zealand, or is everybody working on The Hobbit?
I'm sorry, you're fading in and out there, but I think the answer is we've got a heap of startups here and a vibrant startup community.
Are you including the Hobbit films in that?
Missed you again there, but it looks like a nice cup of tea you've got.
It is a great cup of tea, and I was making a joke about...
He's just making Hobbit jokes.
I'm just making jokes about Lord of the Rings
pure Shire,
and Hobbits.
Middle Earth,
yes, Middle Earth references. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so the first company, where are you guys? I guess you're hosting at Icehouse. Is Icehouse a co-working space?
Yeah, Icehouse is a business incubator and business growth center. We currently work with around 38 startups and have a track record over 10 years working early stage companies and established businesses. So a well-known entity and part of a vibrant startup community here in Auckland.
Well, thanks a lot to Icehouse for hosting us. I think that's pretty awesome of them. Big round of applause for the Icehouse, everybody. I'm always good with giving the sponsors. I always like to give sponsors a little bit of plug there. Yeah.
And also I'd like to say thank you to Kiwi Landing Pad, who are based over there in San Francisco, for putting on the food and booze as well, for enabling this to happen too. So,
Kiwi and they're based in San Francisco, huh? The landing pad for Kiwis. I like it. All right, so you got some great companies there. The first one is BigLittleBang. Can we get BigLittleBang up? Chris White?
Sure, we can.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi there.
Hey, how you doing? You know the rules. You have 60 seconds or so. 3, 2, go.
Okay, hi everyone. My name's Chris White. I'm the founder of a 3D virtual world called BigLittleBang.com that lets kids make music together online. Kids Virtual Worlds is a multi-billion-dollar industry funded largely through subscriptions and micropayments. Yet up until now, there's been no virtual world that enables musical collaboration. Why is this? Well, for musical collaboration to be successful, all of the players need to stay in time, something that's very difficult to achieve across a broadband network. At BigLittleBang.com, we solved this problem right at the outset. We filed a patent for our solution, and we built a commercial release. Already, we have a community of over 90,000 children in our beta program, and we're seeing revenue growth of over 50% month on month. While it's kids that play the game, it's parents that pay for it. For parents, we offer the peace of mind that their kids are playing in a safe, supervised environment that encourages musical creativity, so we're not some shoot-'em-up game. For kids, we offer an ever-expanding universe of new music, new games, and new friends to meet and have fun with. Thank you.
Awesome. Well done. Now, the only problem I have with this is I'm trying to see the game here, and it's like forcing me to sign up, and it's a whole process. I would love to just see what it looks like on the website.
So U.S. federal law means we need the parents' permission to sign up, so it's a little bit of a process. Maybe jumping to the video is the best way to take a look.
There's a video.
Watch the video tour, yeah.
Where is that? I don't see the video tour.
I'm checking it out if they can pull up. I don't know if they can pull up mine.
Use your screen?
Just go to the front page, get out of sign up.
Yep.
And then go down. See.
Watch the video tour. See, I should have done that. There you go.
Yeah, I'm watching. It's cute.
Oh, wow, that's very cute. Look at that.
Yeah, you got little characters there. You can give them.
All right.
Crowns.
So I went first last time. You go first this time. What did you think of the pitch? What did you think of the? Give me your thoughts when you're listening to it and you're watching the video.
I like the pitch. I'm interested in the. So you're really trying to make songs with a bunch of different people. So that's like the real time element is really important. Mm-hmm. So are there lagging issues? I mean, I would think when I'm trying to watch like a video, I get slowness, and is that going to throw everybody off when they're trying to like actually record a song together?
Good question, Chris. What about lag and syncing?
Can't hear.
So you've got all the bits of music when you start off, so it's only the musical decisions that we're passing back and forth.
Oh, okay. So you're not actually playing, you're sort of telling it high, low, that sort of thing?
That's right, and you've got a drum kit, so you are you're playing sounds and instruments on the fly.
Awesome.
See, the other thing I don't like about this, I'll be honest, is why is it limited to music? Like, I sort of feel like a virtual world should have a little bit of everything for everybody. Like, I understand, like, maybe some kids are interested in music, but what if I'm interested in chess or something else, math,
right,
or fashion? I don't know if it's artificially narrowing the market by focusing on music.
That's right. That's something that we realized quite early on in our market validation. Yeah. So we've been building out a whole suite of creative tools. Today, you can build an entire city in space if you're into design. You can create your own social games with your friends. And we're releasing features every week.
It's a good answer. And so Mochi Monsters obviously did very well. Club Penguin. Young kids love this kind of stuff. And for parents, it seems like, as a parent myself now, I don't think I would feel too bad about my daughter going in and interacting with people and building and interacting.
Seems fairly harmless from that perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the pitch? What did you think of the product?
I think the product's really cool. Like I like the graphics. I like the look of it. I like the idea of all this sort of collaborative gaming coming together. I mean, I think one thing I'm always interested in with these sort of educational apps is, do you guys have I know I'm not supposed to ask you more questions, but has a person who's an expert in child development and education actually worked on this, or is this just like we're a bunch of 20-something dudes and we're going to
figuring it out?
Sort of, because that I think
so. We reach out to advisors every step of the way. It's a very iterative process. So we started off obviously with the music and brought in music specialists, and now as we extend it, we're trying to bring in specialists from all types of education using a university type model. So we'll be bringing in science and math and English, history, everything you can imagine.
So I think, for the pitch on this one, I'd probably go maybe like a 7. I thought it was pretty solid. I think maybe in retrospect, it was a little focused on the making music collaborative, when really it's more like a gaming platform.
Yeah, a little bit
kids.
bigger than that, yeah.
But the product, I'd probably go an 8. I think it's pretty cool looking. Like, it definitely seems like the sort of thing kids would enjoy.
Yeah, I think the pitch I gave a 7 as well, and I thought it was a serviceable pitch. Mm-hmm. It didn't have like a very inspirational or emotional hook to it, which sometimes is good to have in a pitch.
Yeah.
Like, here's a kid who suffered from autism. They used the platform, and they became very social, and it made them more social off. Or here is a kid who, was very shy and, lacked confidence, and then they used the product, and they gained confidence, and now they're actually had an interest in making music offline, and now
Yeah.
they're pursuing that. So there's got to be a story like that out there, and you want to really make some emotional connection with your examples. That didn't happen in the pitch, but the pitch did mention the revenue opportunities in this market and describe the product fairly well. So I give it a 7. And as a business, I give it like a 7.5, 8. I almost feel like this should be an iPad app, not a website. Kids want to use iPads. They don't want to use computers. My daughter has the option to use both, and she goes right for the iPad. Yeah. So I think that this on iPad would be amazing. I'm sure that's going to be in the works. But let's hear it for Chris and Big Little Bang.
Great, thank you.
We got to keep this moving because I got to do one company every 10 minutes. But we're on pace.
We're doing pretty good, yeah.
We're on pace, which is good. Hey, let me just take a moment and thank our sponsor here in the United States, GoToMeeting. I was just on a GoToMeeting today, and it was flawless. And I got to tell you, when I'm doing these angel investing potential deals, I have to have perfect clarity. I have to have the screen sharing working, and it was working perfectly. So much so that I had a couple of boxes on my desk, and the person could read the logos over the beautiful HD camera of what was on my desk.
That's
and
amazing.
We had a funny conversation about what was on my desk. It was a game. Anyway, and they were pitching me on a game, and the game they were pitching me on was based upon a game. I can't say which one, but also I had another game on my desk that was similarly related called Cards Against Humanity. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I have heard
it's
of
a Kickstarter.
that.
It's really
Yeah.
funny. I have it upstairs. I'll show it to you later.
Oh, cool.
But anyway, the product is so stable and so awesome. It works on Mac, PC, or iPad, and you've always got the right version running on your computer, and it's got HD, and it works on iPads, and you can try it free with the promo code START. It is the best, most solid product out there. I use it literally every day. And I don't let other people set up meetings for me anymore because you know what? They never start on time. There's always problems. And I need that screen sharing and I need that HD to work perfectly in the audio and everything. And that's GoToMeeting. Thank you so much GoToMeeting for making my life really easy. Go ahead and get your 30-day free trial at GoToMeeting. Just click Try It Free button and use the promo code START. Start. Thank you, GoToMeeting. All right, let's go back to Sydney and talk to ProcessGo. ProcessGo, are you there?
Jason, I will just hand over to Tom. I just wanted to point out to our friends over in Auckland as well, we've put a picture of a nice woolly sheep up on the wall here. I hope it's not too much of a distraction for them. But
oh my gosh, really? Wow.
They're like crosstown rivals. They're
unbelievable.
Cross-island rivals.
Look at that. There's a taunting going on. And maybe, do we need to have a taunting penalty? Or
I don't know.
I kind of like a little taunting.
I think it's acceptable.
There you go. Okay, ProcessGo. Are you there, Tom? Is this Tom?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, Tom, you know the rules. You have about 60 seconds to explain to us what ProcessGo is. 3, 2, go.
Great. Well, thanks for having me on the show, guys. My name is Tom, and I'm the CEO of ProcessGo, and we are simplifying one of the most stoic markets on the planet. I'm talking about enterprise business process. So let me give you an example. Bring your own device is hugely popular in enterprise right now, but the adoption has been quite slow. And largely that's because companies struggle to assess the impact that it represents in their business. They also struggle to compare the different ways of doing it. So their internal staff have some ideas, their existing partners have ideas, and there's this whole world of people out there, the supplier network, that they don't even understand how those solutions work, much less how they fix their business. So we're trying to solve that. ProcessGo has built a web application to simplify the discovery and selection of any business process. So our service will help compare both the financial impact, the return on investment, and let these companies make educated choices about things that impact core parts of their business. So companies around the world do this about 100,000 times a year to the tune of $300 billion. And our big, hairy, audacious goal is to help these enterprises find and compare solutions for any process within as little as 30 days. So again, I'm Tom from ProcessGo. Thanks for having me.
Very well done. Okay. So business process analysis is kind of wonky, but it includes things like HR, IT. I know about this stuff. It's wonky, but it's important. Big companies spend a lot of time thinking about how does this business operate and how do we change it and model it. Let me ask this. What would they normally use to do this?
That's the fantastic question. Today, there is no way to apples compare things like outsourcing to automation to process reengineering. So usually what happens is they'll spend $500,000 on consultants to come in and evaluate this for them. And therefore, there's an inbuilt bias to that system. So our solution is just a neutral platform to make that easy.
And so you're almost making like scripts for people, like making almost like spreadsheets or models that they can plug their data into to understand how business changes might work if they were to change staff size or, I don't know, IT or delivery of products or something. Is that right?
Yes, so we've come up with a patented approach to do this, and our approach is to let them baseline exactly what they do from both an action as well as all the steps. And we're not talking about cataloging it operationally. We're talking about identifying the core areas of the business that provide material impact. Then when they publish that, these suppliers can look exactly how it's done, and they can add, delete, remove activities, procedures, etc., to showcase their solution against everybody else's.
Yeah, so this is I would say that this company is like an 8.5 to me. I think it's a really good idea. The pitch was a 7. It left me a little bit cold because didn't use like really awesome examples of for this company it saved this much time, this much money. Whenever you're doing a pitch, if you're saying anybody can do this or everyone can do this, that's not as strong as saying this person did this. Everyone doing something, anyone doing something, somebody doing something. You might be able to do this, you might be able to do that. It's never as powerful as we had a client in this city who did this, and it saved them this amount of money.
And actually, I'm looking at the site, and they have a lot of those sample scenarios. I mean, it is like you said, it's a little bit like reading word problems for the SAT. But there are plenty of scenarios that they've already envisioned of like, here's why this would be a really kick-ass application to use, and one of those in there to actually give me a better idea of what the
what do you give the pitch then?
The pitch I gave a 6. The idea again I gave an 8. I mean I definitely can see how this would be massively helpful and Calacanis companies aside, a lot of companies I've worked for have struggled with these exact sort of ideas.
Yeah.
I find it a lot of guesswork ends up going into it. And so any way to really
or people go very much based on their gut.
Right.
And not everybody has a gut, that is going to be correct, or the self-awareness to say, I went with my gut and I made a huge mistake.
Exactly. I think a lot of people think they're going to know the answer they imagine they're going to know the answer to some of these hard questions, and they probably don't without numbers in front of them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, basically, just try it. It was always the philosophy we went. Let's just try and see. If our gut tells us this is more likely the scenario, let's try the one we think is more likely, but let's monitor it.
And that's very startup kind of thinking of like, look, if it's broken, we'll fix it. Just, iterate. But big companies don't necessarily work that way.
Yeah, and they got a lot more at stake, so a lot more analysis has to occur. Very well done. Let's hear it for ProcessGo. Well done.
Thanks,
and
guys.
We'll go back to New Zealand, back to the Ice House. And...
Is that the name of I think that's the name of a comedy club in Southern
Ice
California?
House? Is it an Ice House?
I think they have,
Ice House?
in the Pomona or something. So when I hear Ice House, I just think like, I think Joe Rogan's going to be there.
Joe Rogan at the Ice House for 3 nights. Yeah. TranscribeMe.com is the next one.
Sorry, can't hear you.
Are you ready?
He can't hear us. Can you?
You can't hear us?
Can't hear us still? Transcribe me?
Probably. Okay, cool.
All right.
When Siri was launched last year, I was really excited. I thought that I'm going to really increase my productivity massively. But let's be realistic. Siri falls over after 2 sentences. It cannot record your meeting. It cannot transcribe your meetings. When you walk into your meeting next time, you start the TranscribeMe iPhone app. We will return a transcript to you within 24 hours with 98% accuracy. Unlike Siri, we use speech processing, speech recognition, and a global pool of crowdsourced transcribers on our own platform. TranscribeMe helps you search, share, and monetize your audio and video content. With a $10 billion market opportunity, which is growing massively, we have a bit of market to play with. With the imminent launch of our iPhone app and big channel partnerships coming into play, we have growth opportunities in the next few months. We currently, we have raised 2 rounds of funding. We have 1 Auckland Startup Weekend and part of the BizPack program, and currently in beta. And we are looking to raise another round of funding very soon. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Very well done. So, we've seen a lot of transcription services in our day. What did you think of this one, Lon?
Well, I mean, if it works like it says it works, it would be pretty amazing. I used to do transcription for a living for a while when I was trying to be a journalist, and it is a huge pain in the butt. So if you could figure out how to do it accurately, I mean, better results than you've seen from stuff like Dragon or some of these other services.
Right.
That would be
Well, this
huge.
is a multi-layer service, too. So it's doing the dragging kind of thing, then having a human edit it.
Right. Which is, essential because a lot of those, services, it's disappointing when you see how well it actually comes out.
It is. And so what did you think of the pitch then?
The pitch I thought was a little like it didn't really tell me beyond we have people doing it, like why is this so much better? It's like, well, we have secret sauce and we have magic in there and it makes it better. I believe that it's better. I'd just be interested in knowing, what specifically makes this better than, every other sort of transcription service out there. And I also was intrigued by where he's saying, you can monetize this content. I would have liked a little extra sentence there about what exactly, like what have people done to monetize their
Well, clearly, if we transcribe
content.
the show and we put out pages for each...
put it into a book form or something?
Well, you could do that. You could make a product out of it. But if you transcribe the show and you just built pages, you could then get more SEO, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do that. But that's right. You said about SEO and podcasts doing a lot of advertisements, getting a lot of traffic and stuff like that.
Well, when you think about it, for $60 to $180 a minute, like if we were to do this show, it would cost $180.
Right.
It wouldn't be perfect, but it'd be probably 99% good or 98% good, and we could polish off the mistakes. That almost feels like I would pay for it.
We had priced it out once before, if you'll recall,
much higher,
and it was hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
$500,
So that would be
$600 per episode. It was like, that
would be a good value. The one other thing now that I'm looking at the site, it says standard turnaround time is 48 to 72 hours, depending on the amount of content. How long do you think an episode of This Week in Startups, like an hour that's pretty much wall-to-wall talking, would that be in that range of 48 to 72? Because that's pretty good.
Yeah,
if I can jump in here, I'll probably say that right now it's 48 to 72 hours, but we are doing a lot of automation going forward in the next 3 weeks, and we are looking to probably cut it down to 24.
That's pretty good. I mean, if you could get good quality transcription of this whole show back in a day.
The thing that really didn't come through was that this is an app. And that is a unique feature of it, which is you take out the phone and you hit record on the app, and then it gets transcribed.
True.
So if I was doing this in a NPR kind of way, I could just take out my, iPhone, do an interview with you, and it would automatically, magically be transcribed, and on the road I can email it to people with the original audio file.
Yeah.
It feels kind of powerful.
From a journalism standpoint, that's ridiculously epic, because right now you've got them all running around with, they still have like those little tape recorders,
right.
And I mean, it's very 20th century, so this would be a huge
I kind of like that
forward.
aspect to it, and if you thought about like a Bloomberg or an ABC News, somebody who's going on the presidential primaries or something, and they're interviewing a lot of people, that idea of getting the video and the audio and or just audio and transcript all done automatically and posting to a blog automatically, that actually would, I think you put a blog publishing platform at the end of this, it gets even more powerful. So I can record it, transcribe it, and then when they are done with the transcription, it's automatically posted to my Tumblr or automatically tweeted with a link to my Tumblr.
Or think about your newsletters. I mean, what if you're in the car and you just hit a button, you can talk,
and then it's emailed.
Dictate your newsletter, and then just send it right to MailChimp.
Yeah, the only problem with that is if there was an error.
Well, yeah.
It'd be costly.
But that's why they've got people.
I know, but they don't know the context. Anyway,
right.
what did you give it? What's your
we are
scores?
looking forward to do near real-time transcription in the next few months. So because the way we have built a platform, so that might be really, really powerful.
Real-time transcription is awesome.
Real-time transcription is where this becomes much more interesting.
You remember you tried to have us do that for the 2008 presidential debates?
We did, yeah. We had like one person do a couple minutes, one person do a couple minutes. It's too hard.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm all about. Is causing. What did you think of the pitch?
Pitch, I gave a 6. I thought exactly what we talked about of all the really awesome, think about the crazy applications of this. Would have liked more of that, but I did get a pretty good idea of what it was about. Idea, I give a 7, maybe even a 7.5. I'm debating.
I gave it 7.5.
8,
yeah,
because I do think it's a really cool thing, and as somebody who has struggled with transcription in the past, this seems like it would be a huge boon.
Let's hear it for Chirag. Very well done. Cool. Great job. And now, so you see, we've done 4 companies.
Yeah, it's neck and neck so far.
And
there's been a lot of good pitches.
You really can start to see that we have parity between these two cities, because you started with Sydney with Teacher Time, which was right in that steady 7 area. Then we went to BigLittleBang, which was right in the 7.5 area. 7 to 8, yeah. Yeah, so you have like maybe New Zealand getting a little bit of a lead Slight edge. And then you go back to Sydney, and that was all over the board with the 7. And then we come back to New Zealand for TranscribeMe, and it gets to a 7.5 again. So you sort of half-point lead for New Zealand in round 1, made up for by a half-point lead by...
I've been between 6 and 8 on everything so far, which is it's good.
Yeah, it's very tight, because you had Sydney I think Sydney won No, I'm sorry. I think New Zealand won round 1, and then I think we had a tie or a slight lead for Sydney in round 2. So, yeah, slight lead for Sydney in round 2. So this means that these last 2 companies are going to be...
We're saying it's anybody's game. That's what we're saying.
It's basically anybody's game right now. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to Sydney, and we have Rezdy. Rezdy.
Hey, guys.
How you doing? Simon.
Simon from Rezdy here.
Okay, you know what to do. 3, 2, go.
Thanks. So my name is Simon. I'm the CEO of Rezdy. Rezdy is a booking engine specialized in tours and activities. Our clients are dive centers, city tour operators, whale-watching companies, skydiving, and so on. We provide a fully functional booking form, allowing them to accept reservation directly on their own websites and manage their availabilities in real time. So as we own the inventory in our database, we're now able to connect them to online distribution. And the easiest way to understand what online distribution means is by going to your local travel agent and ask him to book something to do with your kids this weekend. I will probably be unable to help you, and if you're lucky, we'll pick up the phone and try to find something for you. But there is no similar system in place like the one available for airfares and accommodation. To go faster, we signed a partnership with a leading channel management company in the accommodation industry. And we have access to hundreds of resellers like Expedia, for example, and thousands of concierge looking for a better way to do what they're doing already, which is promoting local activity to their clients. We have paying customers in 12 countries, many currencies, many languages, and we sign new ones every day. Now we're fundraising to open an office in the States. Rezdy is on Angel List. You can have a look there for more information. And I will be in San Francisco next month to meet you guys.
Awesome. Very well done. Let's hear it for Rezdy. So this is a kind of business. I've seen a couple of these over time, actually, people doing all these tour operators. The tour operators, I think, are like operating out of spiral-bound notebooks in most cases.
Sure.
They put up GeoCity pages.
Yeah.
And this kind of reservation system is really, really needed. So I think it's going to be successful. And it seems like the business model here is to charge them a nice monthly fee and then get a little bit of transaction fees there, which are not, doesn't look like those are too great. So what did you think of the pitch? What do you think of the business?
I thought it was what I would have liked from the pitch more. I think it's a great idea for a company. And I actually was I went to London recently, and this is a complete mess. Like trying to figure out, should we take a boat on the Thames? Should we go to the London Eye? And the sites are terrible.
And you always
Nobody's
feel like
organized.
you're getting scammed.
Yeah, and especially I think if it would give the people operating these tours a way to manage it easily. So it's not like if they book up, they're full up for a day, they can quickly go and mark, this day is not available, because you end up playing phone tag and it's all sorts of difficulty with the process. I think that's one thing I would have liked more from the pitch is like, how customizable is this? So if I want to if you come on our tour, we have 3 choices of lunch, and I need you to pick which kind of lunch you want. Can I do that if I'm a tour operator?
Yeah, Simon, how easy is it to customize? Because it seems like these guys do have a lot of options.
It's fully customized, and we allow tour operators to cross-sell and to upsell. They can sell very popular options like DVDs and shirts and things like that, souvenirs.
Yeah, see, that seems like a really great idea. And what about the reviews of the product? Do I get to put any review I want on the product, or is it up to the tour operator to get to decide who gets to put the reviews up?
So we provide them marketing tools as well, so they can send emails and review requests, but we haven't created a review platform yet because there's a few ones, including TripAdvisor, that are doing very well. So we connect with that, and we haven't created our own.
Yeah, I see. I think that for me, the real pain point is this sort of objective reviews and people having to stand by the reviews. So I kind of like that Airbnb and GetAround and some of these new systems are forcing a level of, or even VRBO, if you rent the house, you have the right to then write a review and the homeowner can't take it off.
Right.
So I kind of like enforcing that, even though...
Well, the business owners
will fight it,
like it, yeah.
But it's probably in their best interest that people be able to have an honest forum for that because it'll build credibility and drive people to the real ones. I think the pitch was solid. It was a 7, and I think the product is a 7. I would have even gone close to 7.5. probably a little more mobile would have, again, these kind of systems where mobile was going to be a big part of it.
Well, yeah, especially because you're talking about people on vacation, so they're out and about all day with their phone.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do that. Let me see.
I kind of feel like the person who makes...
very important.
What was that?
For last-minute bookings, it's very important, the mobile.
Yeah, so being mobile enabled is great, and I think there's even a business here in being able to make mobile apps for people. So you could make, the Sydney, or the Los Angeles app with all of your people in it for activities in Los Angeles, and you could actually become a person who aggregates a little bit of demand for them in addition. So that's always the case here is, are you just providing the software, or you're providing some demand?
Yeah.
And I think that the people who are going to win in this space can provide some demand and tools to get demand, because it's one thing to be a tour operator and have a better system for managing your people, but to be able to get demand, that's when things get pretty special, right?
Yeah, that's true.
What did you score it? I gave double sevens.
I gave the pitch a 7. I gave the idea, I think I gave it an 8.
Oh, very good.
I like this idea, and this has been a specific pain point I personally have dealt with
identify
recently.
with it.
So,
Okay, very well done.
Yeah.
Okay. Big round of applause. Very nicely done. And now we're going to go to New Zealand for our final company. New Zealand is going to have John with SlideSpeech. I almost said slides.
A lot of pressure on this one. Going last. Everybody's been consistently really strong.
What this is like.
Nervous, John.
It's like the Olympics when nobody missed a landing. It's like everybody's,
That never happens. There's always 2 or 3 of them that don't.
I know, but we've got like 5 in a row. Everybody stuck the landing. There's
John,
no dogs.
That last hop. That's really going to damage.
It's always like, and this could be the one that falls flat on its face. Like they could literally run up.
Now we're putting him at a distinct
disadvantage. But when you hit the thing and then they run right into the horse, and you got to mount on the horse, and then there's that video of the guy just slams into the side of the horse. It's brutal.
It's pretty ugly.
Totally slip and fall. Can you imagine you did that in the Olympics? You just totally slipped. You had
just completely.
The world is watching. You just totally hit the
like those Russian gymnasts that NBC didn't show because they wanted to build tension.
Oh, they didn't show them?
I'm stepping on John's time, but you didn't hear about this? There were 2 Russian gymnasts that slipped and fell, but they didn't show the second one because it would make it obvious America was going to win. So they held on to it.
Oh, God,
so that
the manipulation.
That reality show tension of, will America pull it out?
It's amazing. It's like we live in this time when we get to see these moments when old media just, like the last throes of old media screwing up. Like they put out an iPad app for the Olympics. I downloaded it. They updated it like 4 times in 2 days or whatever.
Yeah.
The thing's constantly updating, and I still cannot watch the basketball games or find the highlights. I just want to see Carmelo Anthony.
You can go online. You got to stream it online at like 8 in the morning.
Searching for it. I mean, do these idiots know?
These guys must have that same pain. Nothing's ever online.
This is what drives stealing. It really is. When you make things this hard, why don't they just let you watch anything you want at any time,
because
anywhere, and put huge ads on it?
They want to focus everybody on the 3-hour block in primetime when most people are watching.
They would have 5 times but they would have 5 times.
I'm just telling you how they think of it.
But you'd still have. It would not.
It's working. They're getting amazing. They're getting amazing ratings.
They're making
a killing.
I know it's working, but it would not. It would drive more people to it. I think it would
long term, you wouldn't engender this sort of hatred and bad will towards your company.
But aren't the ads on the iPad worth more for the Olympics than on TV? Wouldn't it be worth more to have people able to click through?
They're making billions of dollars from those primetime ad campaigns.
The advertisers are dumb then, because if they...
I agree with that, yeah.
Those people on the iPads would be able to click and buy an app.
There are absolutely better ways to do it that would be more innovative, that would make more financial sense, but they're just not. Ready.
That was an interesting aside. Okay, John, you ready?
Back to the pitches.
You're ready? Okay, let's hear it for John and SlideSpeech. Big golf clap.
What is the pain? I tell you, this is the pain. Listening to Jason ramble on. Presentations are hard, scary even. Some people would rather die than stand up and talk. What is the solution? SlideShare says upload your slides and let people guess what you might say. Businesses pay for this service. LinkedIn bought them for $118 million. Now, SlideSpeech does more. We say upload your slides with a script in the speaker notes and let the computers talk for you. We deliver the whole story. Think Instagram with voiceovers. or podcasts with pictures. Our team built this web service, apps for iPad, Android, and Windows phones, and a store, which opens next week. We take 30% of sales, but educational use is free. We're seeking a new member of our team to invest in our growth and let computers talk for you with SlideSpeech. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Very well done. Okay, so I'm looking at the product here, and I get the idea. You upload your presentation, I guess.
Okay.
And then instead of you put your speaker notes in, and then no gear, no crew. You just talk directly to your audience, then edit and update the presentations just as easily. Global reach today. Translation service allows a much wider audience, so you can get the speech translated. So if you made a little speech about why, I don't know, this product is a great one, or your feelings on something, then somebody else would say it, and then they would put it to slides. Is that right?
Jason, 42 million Android phones shipped into China last quarter. SlideSpeech can speak Chinese.
So if I made a presentation,
and it talks Chinese at the other end.
So I'll make a presentation about, I don't know, some new product I have, and it's 10 slides, and I'm looking for partners in China, and then you automatically do the, you have a human translator do it, and
a human translator, correct.
Got it. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. That wasn't clear from your presentation.
Yeah, I was imagining.
I thought it was a robot.
Run it through Google Translate and hope for the best.
Oh, God, yeah, and that would be a disaster.
No, I couldn't.
Okay, so I'm starting to like this a little bit more, because what you're really doing, even though your presentation was terrible, the idea is great, which is, because the presentation didn't make a lot of sense. There was a lot of statistics about the things that were superfluous. Here, let me do your presentation over again for you. Hi, I'm Jason, and I run SlideSpeech. The world is global. And when you have a product or service and you give a speech on it, do you realize that there are 10 times as many people who don't speak your language who do if you're an English speaker? Well, we solve that. We take your presentation, you put in what you want to say, and then we translate it into the top 20 languages, and then send it to all of those people, and they can hear your presentation, your sales pitch. Maybe it's a human resources document, whatever it is, to all 20 locations in 20 languages with beautiful human translation, with a voiceover that's probably better than your own presentation. And you can do this instantly. This is something that could not exist before mobile and before the global internet and global workforce available to do this translations. And it's amazing. We had one client who did this with their sales presentation, and they immediately got customers in 6 other locations in Asia.
I think you came in just under a minute there. That was
it okay?
That was well timed. It was good. I mean, I think there's
I think that's better with the product.
There's 2 pitches here, because there's one that is, hey, you're nervous about public speaking, let your computer just speak for you. And then there's, hey, we could translate this so other people in other countries could see it. And so you went for the second. He sort of went for the first selling point. I think you're correct that the translation feature is a bit better selling point than, like, I don't like getting in front of crowds, so I'm going to have this automated slideshow. And I mean, but especially because as somebody who runs public speaking events, I don't think that would work for an audience, would it? I mean,
no, you're not going to get it. You're not going to go up to the stage and hit the play button and walk off stage.
Right. It sort of seems like you could just make a video if you wanted to do that.
You could make a sales pitch that you shared with people that could be another person's voice.
I'm not sure what the difference is between just making a video, having somebody else in your office just read it as voiceover.
Maybe this is a more effective tool. What do you think?
But the translation part, yes. Like I definitely see immediately the value of that.
John, what's your take on Lon and my feedback?
I'd say the ideal is to pair up with TranscribeMe. That way you can say what you need to say, have it transcribed, and feed it into SlideSpeech, and it comes out in Chinese.
I like that. Can we guys get to where you don't have to work on your presentation at all?
Yeah, how about a service that just makes a brilliant presentation?
Just some guy that wants to write a presentation for you.
Listen, the presentation was terrible, but the product is good. So I give it a 5 on the presentation, but an 8 on the thing. And let me tell you something. If you had to pick, that's what you want. Because you can improve a presentation, but a product is very hard to improve.
I would have gone probably 4 on the presentation, except it was so fun and high energy that I knocked that up to a 5.
Okay.
Because he was a more engaging speaker than some of the other people. The idea, I mean, I had it at a 6. I'm tempted to knock it up since we've talked about it, because now I'm more excited about the translation possibilities. But I think I'll leave it at a 6.
Okay, you'll leave it at a 6. Okay. All right. So now comes the hard part. Let's get our hosts in each city up on the microphones, and we'll go to Ned. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Ned, how do you feel you guys did over there in Sydney?
Yeah, very happy. I think the guys did a great job. I think they've represented the teams here really well. So everyone's trying to squeeze in here. So no, we're pretty happy with the how it performed.
Who do you feel in Sydney did the best job? Teacher Time, ProcessGo, or Rezdy? Who is your favorite, Ned?
Look, I couldn't pick a winner. I think they're all winners. I think they've all done an equally good job. So
they did a good job, but which one did the best job today?
Picking a winner here. That's up to you guys.
Come on, Ned. Which one did the best job?
Which one did the best job?
Which one did the best job today? Yes, they're all incredible entrepreneurs and startups, but which one do you think did the best job today? Teacher Time, ProcessGo, or Rezdy? Which one was your personal favorite?
Look, I know the Rezdy guys really well. I've worked with them for the last year. I know Simon's a great guy, and I know they've made some great progress with the business. So just on that basis of having known the Rezdy guys for a bit longer, I would say I think they're doing a really good job. But
are you going to win? What do you think? Who's going to win, Ned?
Trying to be very diplomatic here, Jess.
Did you win, Ned, or not?
I love that the guy who put up the sheet picture to make fun of the
all
other
of a
country suddenly is Madeleine Albright now.
Yeah. Ned, do you think you won or do you think you lost?
I think we won.
All right.
I think, well, but judged on your scores, if I average them out, it looks like we came through there in the end.
All right, let's see what's going on in Auckland. Auckland, Ken, are you there?
Hey, how are you doing?
Ken, we saw some great companies there. You guys had BigLittleBang, very interesting virtual world for kids. We really like that one. And we saw TranscribeMe very well. That was a nice text-to-voice, voice-to-text over your iPhone app. And, of course, SlideSpeech there at the end, presentations translated around the world. Which one do you think did the best job representing Auckland?
Cutting to the quick, I think out of the three, I think Chris did the best job overall, but I gave Chirag, I thought he gave the best pitch.
Okay, so your favorite was TranscribeMe?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so now for what's important. Lon and I's opinion. Here we go, Lon.
I had a...
No, wait.
Oh, sorry.
Before you do it...
Oh, my.
We're going to do two things here.
All right.
And we'll see if this works. I am going to try to guess your 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And you try to guess my 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll actually see the 1, 2, and 3s, and then we'll add up who gets more points, right? So if you were to, there is a possibility of a tie, which I don't know what we do if it's a tie. But anyway, you're going to pick 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to pick 1, 2, and 3.
I've got my 1, 2, and 3 picked out.
And if you pick 2 from Auckland, and I pick 2 from Sydney we would actually be a tie.
On the winning city.
Right, because we'd be 3 points and 3 points. But then we would go
then we would look at what our number ones were.
Yes, and then we go to the 1s, 2, and that'd be the tiebreaker. Okay, sounds good. All right, now hold on. I'm going to also guess.
You want to guess my top 3?
I'm going to guess your top 3, and you try to guess mine.
Go for it.
All right, so I think that you really liked... this is a tough one. I'm going to say that you picked BigLittleBang, Teacher Time, and then Rezdy. No, I'm going to say BigLittleBang Rezdy Teacher Time.
You got 2 out of 3.
I did?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go through your top 3.
My number 1 was BigLittleBang, which I should have gone the other way for better suspense. But anyway, my number 1, BigLittleBang, I thought it looked really cool. I thought it had a really solid pitch, and it definitely seemed to me like something kids would enjoy and have fun with, and those communities sort of always seem to do well and find an audience if they're well built. Number 2, I picked Rezdy, just a great idea and a real pain point, and I love it when people pitch me or pitch companies, and I'm like, oh yeah, that totally is a problem that I really have that I never thought about a solution for. And then 3, I picked TranscribeMe, because the more we talked about it, the more I realized, you know what, there's a lot of good potential applications for this.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a New Zealand number 1, a Sydney number 2, and a New Zealand number 3.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting now, because exactly what we thought would happen has happened.
We have a tie.
I liked, in my third place, I gave, hold on a second, just making sure I get this right.
He's got graphs and charts. You guys can't see the paper here.
Yeah. No, because I'm doing my scores here. I want to make sure I get this right.
It looks like you're trying to invent cold fusion.
Well, here's the thing. I've got my 3, and I'm working on my rank. So, did you guess my 3?
I haven't tried to guess your 3 yet.
Because my 3 are Teacher Time, BigLittleBang, and Rezdy.
So 2 out of the 3 we were together on.
Right. But that
BigLittleBang and Rezdy, which is 1 each.
Right.
Well, what was the order? Because mine, I had BigLittleBang 1, Rezdy 2.
Well, I have Teacher Time, BigLittleBang, Rezdy.
So you had BigLittleBang above Rezdy.
Correct.
And so did I.
Right. So let's see how this works here. Because Teacher Time is Sydney.
It depends on if you want to do it by a point system or if you just want to go by...
So Sydney, you picked a New Zealand company, BigLittleBang, for your first. I picked Sydney as my first.
Right.
Then you picked Rezdy, which is Sydney, and then I picked BLB, BigLittleBang, which is New Zealand.
Right.
So now we're still in a tie. Then I picked Rezdy
as your number 3.
As my number 3 from Sydney, and you picked...
And I picked a New Zealand book for my number 3.
Damn it, how is that possible? That's
a mathematical dead heat, yeah. They were so close. They were all so close.
Well, we can't have a tie.
Well, here's how I'd throw it to you, and Sydney people, please don't hate me. But my number 1 and your number 2 were both BigLittleBang from New Zealand.
Right.
I didn't even have your number 1 ranked.
Right.
So to me, that seems to indicate that one company should be the tiebreaker as the winning company. That would be my pitch on how to settle this. Sorry to my Australian friends.
I don't know how to settle this now. Let me get my guys on the phone here, Ned and...
Let's go back to the scores.
Surely somebody could have developed.
Ned and Ken, what do you think? What's the story here? Ned, what is your take on this virtual heat?
Sydney wins.
Jason, I think we really have to go back to the scores. Let's go back over the scores and average them out and see where that leaves us.
And Ken, what is your feeling from
math
Auckland?
on camera, which is not thrilling from a viewership standpoint.
I think it was a really tight competition, and the judges' vote is final.
Well, see, because what you could do is you could look at the scores of the first place.
I think I got it.
Rematch?
A lightning round. There is at least one other entrepreneur that has a startup in each of these locations right now.
Is that true? Do you have another entrepreneur
there? One person
there?
hasn't pitched us yet in each city.
Do you each have one more?
Yeah, guys, look, I'd love to pitch my startup, GoCatch.
Okay, there we go. Do we have one in Auckland as well? Do we have one random company we haven't heard from yet that could give us a 30-second lightning round pitch right now, and then we pick a winner?
Yeah, we'll find one. Just give us between
we'll fill
the 10 companies that we had here, so we got 7 to choose from.
We're broadcasting professionals, so we'll take 2 minutes to do some filler.
And
then we'll do a lightning round, right?
Okay, but they have 30 seconds to... All right, 60, yeah.
Right.
Quick 60-second
We gave the other people, what, a 60-second pitch? So these guys get a 30-second pitch.
All right, here we go. So everybody...
And then you and I just collaborate. We just pick a winner based on that.
Just pick a winner, but we have to be blind. What if it ties again? If it ties again, it's a double overtime tie.
If it ties again,
pure tie.
It's a pure tie. We have to just do a All
right, here we go. So first up is Auckland, won the coin toss. Who do we have from Auckland?
Hi, my name's John Meadows, and I'm from Snackle.
Tell me the name of your company. Spell it.
SN. How's it? So Snack. So SNACKLE.
.com.
.co.nz.
.co.nz.
.co.nz. Yeah.
NZ. There you go. Okay.
For those
of you
in the
NZ. Z means Z.
Yeah.
For those of you in the first world.
Dumbass America. We don't say Z.
We don't say Z here. I wish we said Z. Z is cool. Z's dead. All right, here we go. Snackle. 3, 2, go.
Go ahead. You're
on.
All right. So here we go. Right. Big problem in marketing today is that a lot of businesses market their business, but they push that information to consumers with no ability to get information back. So what Snackle done is created some smart posters utilizing near-field communication and QR code technology. So what happens now is that a company can now market their business, but at the same time, the consumers can send feedback back to that business. And really, that's basically the how the business works, and yeah.
Awesome. Very well done.
This reminds me of somebody else's company.
This reminds me of Tyler's company, but more technically advanced. He's using near field. I don't think Tyler's got the near field. I don't think America's got near field.
No, I don't.
But
I don't think Tyler is either. But it's a great idea, obviously.
Good idea, and it's a good-looking company. Let's go back to Sydney to Ned. Ned, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Ned, what is your URL for your company?
Okay, guys. So my company is GoCatch. It's GoCatch.com is the URL.
GoCatch.com?
Yep.
It's not a porn
site. We're a smartphone app, so it's really about the app itself.
It's not a porn site.
No, we have a website, GoCatch.com, but it's a smartphone app-based startup.
Okay.
Family appropriate.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, go.
Okay, guys. So GoCatch is a smartphone app that connects taxi drivers and passengers in real time using their phones. So once the drivers download the app onto their phone, we can pick up their location using the GPS on the device. And what that means is, as a passenger, when you need a taxi and you send out a request through the app, when the driver accepts that, you can see them approaching in real time. You know exactly where the taxi driver is. So there's no more waiting out in the rain, praying to the almighty taxi gods, hoping that your taxi is going to show up. We're a company that's raised over $500,000 in funding, which is quite a bit in Australia, probably not too much in the States, including $250,000 from government. And we've partnered up with Google, Microsoft, and Nokia. We've got a great team with very experienced senior developers. And what else can I tell you? And we've got a lot of traction. We've over 7,500 drivers that have downloaded the app. Out of all of the peer-to-peer taxi booking apps of our nature, we've got the most drivers in the world, and we've got over 60,000 passengers using the system as well. So we're really well progressed with the traction. Don't know how I'm doing for time, but I think I've. I
think you're about good on time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and I can see there are a bunch of taxis here in Australia. And
so these are unlike something like Uber, which we have in the States. These are licensed taxi drivers. These are like full-time professional taxi drivers. These aren't just people with their cars who sign up, right?
That's right, yep. Right. It's licensed taxi drivers. And the thing about Uber's gone for a real premium part of the market, and that's worked well for them. We think there's a much bigger opportunity in the taxi industry. I mean, if you look at the volume of taxi fares that are paid versus street hire cars or town cars, then the opportunity is much larger. But the problem is a lot more complicated. Connecting passengers and drivers in real time in this nature is actually quite challenging. What we've done is we've introduced a lot of gamification into the app where drivers get rewarded for picking up short fares during peak periods, and that gives them access to the bigger jobs as they increase their status level from bronze up to gold.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, Lon, I'm going to write on the back of my paper. You write on the back of yours. Do 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 do.
Do you want to show it together?
God, this is going to be so brutal. 1.
I can already tell what's going to happen.
3. Ah, tie!
It's a tie again, folks.
I picked Snackle.
I picked GoCatch.
Oh, okay. Now take me through your thinking. I picked Snackle because I thought it was very unique, and I liked the near-field communication, and I thought it was very good-looking. I thought GoCatch was great, but I've seen that before, and I thought Snackle just had a slight edge in terms of just being a little bit newer.
I'll tell you my thought, and Tyler's watching from Stockholm. He'll have to forgive me, but I'm skeptical about Snackle in the same way I was skeptical of Squeal, which is I think people like sharing on Yelp because it's a public forum, and I just don't think people are that eager to just sound off private to one person.
Some people want to get their problem solved, so I do think that 1 out of 20 people, it does matter to a lot. But anyway, this has been amazing. Hey, guys, I hate to break it to you, Ned, but it's a tie.
It's a dead heat.
It's a dead heat.
We tried our very best.
Nobody wants to crush somebody's spirit as much as I do. Nobody wants somebody to be a loser and somebody to be a winner. Trust me. I love that. But this is one of those few cases. Where is Ken? Ken, get up here. I'll get my split screen. I got Ken. I got Ned.
Can we put them both through? I mean, could we? Is there
We're going to have to do a wild card, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a wild card or something.
They deserve to get through. I mean, this was tough.
This was great. Everybody did well. Ken, great job. Ned, great job. Any final plugs for our sponsors? Ken, go ahead, plug the sponsors. Ken, can you plug your sponsors?
Your own sponsor. You don't have to plug our sponsor.
Ice House, anything?
I'm sorry we've lost you.
Oh, any plugs? Final plugs?
Any plugs? Well, the Ice House is kind of a cool place to come. So if you've got a startup and you want to talk to some people that could help, you could go a lot worse than the Ice House.
Also, A Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey opens this December.
Hobbit? Yes, The Hobbit opens in December. And they're going to make 3 movies. Okay, and Ned, any final thoughts from Sydney?
Yeah, look, I'd love to give a shout out to Orion VM, good friends of ours that have one of the fastest cloud computing platforms in the world. They're a startup that's come out of Fishburners. I'd also like to thank Optus and Microsoft who have sponsored our co-working space here as well. And absolutely anyone that's visiting Sydney and would like to find out more about the startup community, come in and drop by Fishburners, and we'd love to sit down and have a chat with anyone that's visiting.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody. This has been an amazing episode. We never thought we'd get a tie like this and then have the tiebreaker tie. It's ridiculous, but I'm not going to sit here and just pick a winner when it's this close.
No, that's not fair.
I do have some specific advice though for both cities. 2 things that you can work on for the next time: amp up the design a little bit. All of these companies could have done a little bit of a design refresh and been a little bit. I do think that GoCatch actually on the end and Snackle both had the best design, which was ironic.
Those
the
last
tiebreaker
2,
had the best design.
The websites were beautiful.
But I just want to leave this with the folks there in the Pacific. Design really matters. People are making decisions based on design. So the design of everything could have added an extra point. And then also the reoccurring theme in the presentation was the examples didn't have enough gravitas. So those 2 things, if you work on for the next time, I think will, in the next round of this, will really benefit you. Work on design and really work on your presentation examples. Somebody used this product and had this great outcome, and they said this to us. This person used the product and solved this problem, and their life got better for this reason. Lon, congratulations. You have a new job. Do we want to plug it?
Sure. I'm going to be the head writer. I am the head writer and producer on What's Trending, the daily web show What's Trending.
The Shira Lazar show.
Shira Lazar hosts it. It's it's a weekly rundown of what's going on social media, on the web, on YouTube.
And she's over the controversy with the Steve Jobs quote.
There was, they had a social media hiccup, as has happened to so many companies. They've really adjusted their strategy. I mean, I was critical of them at that time because it was a really kind of boneheaded response. But they really have worked on their...
They basically, for people who don't know, they basically tweeted a couple weeks before Steve Jobs did die that they heard a rumor he had died.
They tweeted that he had died as news. And then when I think the bigger issue, actually, as long as we're going to chat about it for a second, was when they got called on it, when they realized it was a mistake, rather than a very open, honest, transparent mea culpa. Here's what happened. Here's why it happened. Here's what we're doing to fix it. We're very, very sorry.
They did something.
It was a little flip. The response was a little flip.
Carry on or something.
Live on, I believe they tweeted. And that read to people like they didn't really understand the gravity of the mistake that had been made. Now they have done. They haven't had any of those kinds of errors. It's even a less breaking news themed show, and they brought on me to help out with social media. So
listen, you're going to have faux pas that happen. You're going to make little mistakes. What matters is you keep learning and iterating from them.
So YouTube.com/What's Trending, if I can throw
YouTube.com/What's Trending.
Subscribe to the show there. You can see what we're working on. We had a video just today that went big, so you want to be there to
I'll make sure. Hey, I'm always good for a tweet. Hey, and we'll see you guys next time on This Week in Startups.